Hello, the house behind me is called CARDONESS. We are in Scotland, and there is a sentimental story behind this house. You know, the nation of Scotland has a constitution which was written actually by the blood of the people who stood for their faith. They signed, they wrote with their own blood. And when Rees Howells came to this house in the 1920s, brought here by one Mrs. Stewart, he felt so emotional when he saw the copy of the Constitution that was written by the blood of those people who stood for their faith. Now, what is the difference? Now, what you may ask is the difference between the Covenanters, the Constitution of Scotland, and what was established in the Church of England. Well, we know that in the New Testament, there were a group of people called Nicolaitans. In the book of Revelation, Jesus says that he hates the Nicolaitans. They had some weird doctrines, but of all the weird doctrines, the main one was that the leaders or the bishops had access to God much more than the average person. That I see in many other religions too. Like I came from a Hindu faith. There, only the Hindu priests have access to the gods. So if people want prayers to be addressed to those deities, they have to go through the priests. So a similar thing could be found in many polytheistic religions in the past. The Roman religion, the Grecian religion, the Egyptian religion. And when Christianity came, where according to 1 Peter 2:9, that we are all priests. We are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. So we are all one in the Lord. Yes, there are Bible teachers, there are leaders, there are apostles, there are prophets, there are pastors, but then we are all one in the Lord. We are no extra special. Just because I am a pastor, I am not extra special than an average believer. We all can go to God directly. Because when Jesus died on the cross, the veil was torn from top to bottom. So now we have access to the Holy of Holies. Unlike in the Old Testament where only the high priest had access. So the Church of England had a different type of setup where the bishops were actually, they had the final say. So the Covenanters here in Scotland, they opposed that idea. They said, Jesus is the head. Jesus is the only head. We will not bow down to anybody else. So many of them were martyred, many of them were torched, they were drowned, they were lashed. They went through persecution to proceed strongly that Jesus is the only head of the church. Now, here behind me in this house, when Rees Howells came, and when he saw the sacrifice of those Covenanters, sacrifice of those people who stood their ground for Jesus being the head, and when he saw the Constitution, when he saw the things written with the blood of those people, he was challenged. I read what was said by him, and he says that, he was so, he sold himself to God. He just went back to Wales, and he was like, nothing belongs to me. Everything belongs to God. And today, my message is this, my dear friends. We are in this world as pilgrims. Our eternal abode is heaven. But what I see in Christianity in many nations is that people acquire wealth for themselves. People make money for themselves. Even ministers, even pastors, even prophets, even preachers. They want the money. They want the money. They want to have a lot of money, buy properties in their name, and have big bank balances, savings, and whatnot. But where is the commitment? Where, I'm completely sold out to Jesus. The Apostle Paul says, everything I deem nothing for God. I have given up everything. So Rees Howells was really challenged, and he went back. And I continued to read the story. Wonderful how he got the fire back, and people were just drawn to his meetings, and he was a great big inspiration. And I believe this house has a history, and unfortunately Scotland has lost a large part of what it used to have. And Scotland is a nation where we need to pray and bring back that commitment in the Lord. I believe this little message would have spoken to you, and it's a big challenge. Yesterday and today I have seen a lot of places, and it's a personal challenge to me, to further my faith in the Lord, to count me more and more little and Him large, just like John the Baptist says, Lord, let me decrease, you alone increase. God bless you.